Very good evening, everyone. This is Rajendran here, joining from Market Calls, and welcome everyone to kind of a live coding session on building a stock market dashboard. So we're going to use OpenAlgo and Claude Sonnet 3.7. That's the latest AI model from Anthropic. So we're going to use that model, and we're going to use Windsurf as an editor, right? And then we're going to build a simple stock market dashboard. So everything we're going to build from the scratch. So I presume that anybody doesn't need any coding knowledge. Throughout the session, we're going to see a coding knowledge without learning a single line of code. So that's what the whole idea is all about. Let's see. That's what popularly it is called as vibe coding. I'm not very sure how far we can keep building things, but let's see, one hour, whatever the things which is possible, we'll try to do that. Max to max, the session could be extended up to 1.5 hours, right? And as usual, the session is getting recorded. So recorded video will be available in the same portal as well. And yeah, it will be available in the YouTube channels as well. I hope the audio and video quality is good enough to kickstart. If yes, simply type yes so that we can quickly kickstart with the session. All right, great. Thank you, True Lawyer, Ganesh, Krishnamurthy, Srijit, Ashwar, Gyanendra, and everyone. So without further delay, let's quickly kickstart with the session, right? So the basic requirements are Windsurf. So I'm having an Windsurf editor. So there are two popular editors in the market. A lot of popular editors are there. Among them, the two popular editors are Cursor and Windsurf. Somehow I've been using Windsurf for quite some time now. Not much for the last 2 months, right? In fact, Windsurf itself is quite a new product in the AI industry. And yeah, I'm also experimenting with Cursor as well, but somehow I'm very familiar with Windsurf. So we'll go with the known devil in that case. What we're going to do is like we're going to go and download or we're going to install OpenAlgo locally. So OpenAlgo, as you understand, OpenAlgo is your own personal algo trading platform. Like you can run OpenAlgo as your trading bridge, or you can use to write your Python strategies, AMI broker strategies, or if you're having strategies in TradingView, charting, even Excel, it doesn't matter. You can build your strategies and you can transmit your strategies to OpenAlgo. OpenAlgo will process those things and it'll be transmitting those orders to your broker. Not only that, OpenAlgo does a lot more things. And yeah, we'll go and install OpenAlgo. So OpenAlgo, as I said, it's an open source platform which you can go and download from the GitHub. So GitHub link is here. So if you go and click on the stars, you can find the GitHub page where OpenAlgo source codes are available. Complete source codes are available. Almost 55,000 plus lines of code, which we've been keep writing this for quite some time. Couple of months we've been writing this. So I just copy this, right? And then I'll come back to my VS Code. So in my VS Code, what I'm going to do is like I'll go and go to File. I'll open a new folder. I click on Open Folder. I'm going to put this in a D drive, and I'm going to create a new folder name. Let's call that as OpenAlgo Dashboard. OpenAlgo -dashboard. So you can give whatever the name of your choice, right? So I just call that project as an OpenAlgo dashboard. I'll go to the terminal. So terminal is where we can access the command prompt or PowerShell. So here I'm gonna simply type command git clone, and then I'm gonna right click and then copy and paste the link. So let me type enter. So this will be installing OpenAlgo. Let me also zoom this so that you can get a fair idea about that. So this will install OpenAlgo. The complete 55,000 lines of code will be coming and sitting in your machine. Right now, it's time to configure OpenAlgo. In order to configure OpenAlgo, there is an sample.env file you can find, which we have to copy it. So there's a command called cp space .sample.env. I just want to copy to the name env file. So env, oh come on, I have to first. I'm sorry, I have to go to cd space OpenAlgo. Let me go get into the OpenAlgo folder, and then I have to do this cp.sample.env I'm just going to copy that .sample.env into a .env. I can also do by copying from here as well, copy and then paste. That way also you can do that. But this is simplest way. So cp space .sample.env. So go to the env file. So here we have to go and enter your broker credentials. So I'm going to go and enter my broker credentials. So for that, I'll go to the broker portal. So here is my broker portal, and then I'm going to copy this particular one. So I'll try with some active, or better, I'll create a new API. Okay, so create an app and then say, like, give an app your name. So OpenAlgo, let's call this OpenAlgo itself. Redirect URL, obviously you can give some dummy URL. As of now, redirect URL is not used, and then click on create. This will be creating an API key and API secret key. So here is my API key and API secret key. Let me copy this. I'll come back to API key, paste it over here. Likewise, API secret as well. Just copy and paste. And then one more configuration, and then we are good to go. So I'm just going to type the broker name as Angel, right? So Angel, and then ensure that you're pressing Control S. You see that the number 1, if you're seeing that, that means there's a one unsaved file is there. You just either file save or you press simply Control S. That will be saving the file. Close it out. And now it's time to launch OpenAlgo Python app.py. Now, what is the major requirement is like you need to have Python installed in your machine, and it is configured with Windsurf. Windsurf is nothing but an VS Code fork, right? What does it mean is like it's a copy of VS Code. So they had built on top of that, they had built a lot of agentic model. So on the right hand side, you are seeing another window called Cascade. So this is where we can talk with a lot of AI models. So a lot of AI models are here. The very popular one is Claude Sonnet 3.5, which was the default model until yesterday. So yesterday onwards, Windsurf started supporting the Claude 3.7 newer model. So there are two types of models there. Claude 3.7 Sonnet model, and bit costlier is Claude 3.7 thinking model. So they consume like 1.5 times of credit. So every chat that you're going to make, it's going to cost you money. I mean, in the sense, it depends upon your plan, right? It's a paid tool. They also provide some premium as well. So you will be left with some sort of a free credits. So you can talk to the model and you can ask questions, and then it will be answering, or it can talk. You can talk to your own code base. You can talk to a complete code base over here, or you can build something new using this, or you can ask questions. You can troubleshoot your codes. If their code is having some bug, you can fix it out. So a lot more things you can do using Cursor. So maybe if you are new to Cursor, I'm not sure how many of you are new to Cursor. So True Liar is asking, can we use PyCharm as well? I haven't used PyCharm yet. Long back I had used, but I'm not sure Windsurf or Cursor, they will be supporting PyCharm as well. Maybe that there could be some other plugins might be available, but I'm not sure Windsurf is right now supporting PyCharm editor or not. Now, how many of you use Windsurf? Anybody is using Windsurf? Okay, Jason is using Windsurf. Funny is using Windsurf. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll try to show you. I mean, we're not affiliated with any Windsurf or any other model. Windsurf, it's an Indian company, by the way. Company name is Codium. So here you can find one among them is the Windsurf, right? Probably when it comes to the pricing of Windsurf, you can start free, but you will be having like 50 free credits. Even Cursor also provides the same thing. 50 interactions you can make, and maybe pro model is like $10 right now for the early adopter price. And I was using $60 pro ultimate is what I've been using. Maybe pro ultimate, if you're going to use, you will be with $60, what you can build is like at least you might be able to build like some 15,000 to 30,000 lines of code. You might be end up building in a week's time. I'm talking about, right? I'm not talking about in a month's time. In a week's time, at least 15,000 lines of code you should be able to build, and probably in a month's time you'll be able to build like if you are completely engaged with the Windsurf, you might be able to build like 60,000 lines of code with the $60 plan. So that's kind of massive one. Anyways, so the server is running here. We'll go and launch it out. So I'm just clicking on that. It launches OpenAlgo. So here is OpenAlgo. First time when I try to log in, I have to enter my username. It's first time registration. And you can run OpenAlgo in your own desktop, laptop, servers, anywhere, or you can run in your own private domain itself. So there is an TOTP authentication. This is required if in case you forgot your password. So in our case, we can just keep it out. So continue to log in. Let me log in with my credentials. Now, once I log in, it automatically detects which broker had connected. So other brokers will be automatically disabled. So in my case, I signed up with the Angel one. So let me connect with my account. Automatically, it's going to ask the client ID, PIN details, and probably I also should be getting the TOTP. Just give me a sec. Let me open up my TOTP. I think this should log in. This is a test account, by the way. Yeah. So now what we need to do is like, first thing is like in order to build a stock market trading dashboard, right? We are going to get the data from OpenAlgo itself. So how to get the data is what I'm going to show you. So if you go to probably if you go to the download section, you might be finding this iod.py. Not this one. Probably there's another folder, maybe strategies. Yeah, I think strategies. We have this data, historical data. So here you can use this simple code to download the data in an probably in an Y-Finance format, like a data frame format, Pandas data frame format, like a table format is what you can able to download. So here I have to go and enter my OpenAlgo API key. So OpenAlgo API key, in order to get that, probably I'll go to OpenAlgo itself. I think OpenAlgo is running here. Let me go to the API key section and let me copy the API key. So if in case you want to see the API key, you can see it, right? So you can just simply copy it and then come back here to Windsurf, paste the API key. Let me minimize the thing here so that you can see the complete picture. So I'm just going to try to download State Bank of India, NSE, 5-minute data. Let's say I want to download for the last 10 days. So maybe 22, and then date is like 25 or 26 till today. And probably I want to download I'll select the Python environment. First time when you're trying to do this, maybe it will be asking you for an, we can see that it downloads the data, right? It downloads the data here. So like this, we can access any kind of symbol from the broker. So what is actually happening in the backend, I'm going to explain so that we can start building things from here on. I'll go to, let's say we have OpenAlgo here. So we have this OpenAlgo here. Let's call this OpenAlgo. So OpenAlgo has a direct connectivity with a broker. So with the broker server. Not just one broker, right now some 13 plus broker has been integrated. And very soon another 10 more brokers we are trying to add in this year 2025. And broker in turn, it is directly connected to the exchange as well. So from here, we have exchange connectivity as well. Let's say if the broker supports NSE, BSE, MCX, all the data can be downloaded directly from the broker's historical API. Almost every broker is providing codes, history, and then like candlestick data they are providing. right? So OpenAlgo also exposes on other side. It also exposes an, let's say my Python program is running over here. My Python application can also talk to OpenAlgo using a method called OpenAlgo API. So OpenAlgo has its own interface, OpenAlgo API. And OpenAlgo in turn, it talks to the corresponding broker API. If you are connected with the Angel broker, then you will be connected with the Angel API. So let's say generically we call this as an broker API. Right. So from Python, we're gonna call data. So that will be go to the OpenAlgo, and OpenAlgo will be processing that information, and then it will be getting the data from the broker itself. Right. OpenAlgo on its own doesn't manages any server and all. Every data that you are consuming directly from the broker API itself. So that's what is happening in the background. So now let's try to get some basics about how this Python coding works. So if you go to OpenAlgo, let's say I'll go to OpenAlgo here. So from the OpenAlgo, you can always reach to the documentation section. From the documentation section, if in case you want to practice, then what you can do is like you can go to the Python section. Let's say you want to send orders to Reliance. What you can do is like just copy and paste this stuff and go to this block here. Let's say I just want to send an order to OpenAlgo. Now this will be sending an order to OpenAlgo. You can see that it's the order sent to the OpenAlgo here, which means I should be able to see in the order book section, right? So you can see that it's there, but maybe I'll try to do one thing. I'll try to show you both simultaneously, side by side. So one side, I'm just trying to send an order. Let's say I'm just trying to send an order to Zomato. I'm just going to try to send an order like 100 quantity. That's like quantity here. Basically, I just try to close this cascade for time being. I'll try to send this. You can see that the order is getting punched, and the order, you will be able to see it over here in the order book section. So I'll just zoom this. Oh, come on. And you can also see this orders in the log section as well. So what order has been sent? I think the order is getting rejected over here for some certain reason. Maybe because of holiday. Reliance has been working on. For some reason, yeah. So we are getting this Reliance over here. I think probably Reliance is getting punched. So Reliance buy is getting punched and sell is also getting punched. Likewise, there are a lot of controls are available over here, right? So this is like order level control. A lot of from building a stock market data perspective, we have this quotes. So we can able to get the quotes over here. So let's say I want to get the quotes of Reliance. So just copy this quotes and let's say I'll add the quotes of Reliance. I should be able to get the ask, bid ask, high, low, LTP and open. I can also get the market depth as well. So market depth, if I want to get, so here is the depth rate. So this will be getting the depth of State Bank of India. Of course, you can also get for options, futures, MCX. You can only get the data for the running contracts. You cannot get for the expired contracts, right? So whatever the your broker is supporting, you can get those details. So here the broker is supporting the top 5 bid and ask level. We are able to get that. Since the market is closed, I think most of the values are 0 in case of depth. Otherwise, it will be getting some proper values. And let's say the other one is a historical data, which you already seen that. So which will be giving in a typical Yahoo Finance format. It comes with an timestamp, which is the index, and then close, high, low, open, and volume. So it will be giving in a table format, which is very easy to calculate indicators and to build some cool dashboards. All right, so let's go and build things now. So now let's open the cascade here. So first thing is like what we are trying to build. We'll try to prepare some plan over here, right? So let's say maybe we'll ask ChatGPT or we'll ask ChatGPT itself. Let's see what it's supposed to say. So here is chat. We'll go with the 4O model because we're not building anything heavyweight. So the daily day-to-day task itself more than enough. Say I'm planning to build a stock market trading dashboard. Give me ideas what to build up. Now, I myself haven't fixed what to build. I thought like I'll try to build some cool dashboard. That's what the mindset I'm coming up with. So it's asking like you build some live stock prices and market indices. Maybe heat maps or heat maps for market trends. Heat maps could be a good idea, right? Or maybe sector-wise performance analysis. Yes, we can do that. Or we can build some custom indicators like SMA, EMA, RSI, MACD. Maybe that could be one thing. An interactive candlestick. Yeah, that could be another thing. And the screeners. I'm not sure how much is possible within another 1 hour of time, but let's try to build the max, right? That's what we're going to do here. So first thing first, we always need prices. So first, what we are going to do is like, we'll try to do a simple exercise. That's what we always start with. So don't try to start something. Don't try to give everything to the AI model and don't expect everything to happen in one shot. First thing is like, we're going to build something very simple, right? So what we're going to do is like, I'm going to type the symbol and I'm going to press the submit, and the application should give me the latest stock codes. So latest stock codes is like, so there's a code it should giving me. So here is the codes here, right? This codes it should be giving me. So that's a very simple task is what we're going to solve. I'm not sure how many of you guys are coder over here, right? So if you are a non-coder, now this is how I would try to solve, right? So always I try to solve something simple. So I'm going to build a simple application which is going to take this information, this coding information, and then it's going to fetch the data, and then it's going to show me in a simple website, right? That's what we're going to build here. So I'll say like I want to build a simple Flask application. We're going to build a simple Flask application, right? Flask is an web application which we can build using Python very easily. Even coders can build very easily, but with these kind of agentic tools, I mean, you don't need to know how to understand the coding part. Literally, you don't need to know that. But I would say like you need to have some little idea about how the web technology works, right? So how the basics of Flask works. If you know that part, then coding is next to nothing, right? So we're going to build a simple Flask application, and which is a Python-based framework for developing web application. And here we're also going to use what we are going to use for some cool styling. We're going to use Tailwind. And we also going to use something called Daisy UI. So Daisy UI is like it will make your website beautiful. So let me pull up the Daisy UI. Most of my tasks I use, most of my websites, whatever the websites that I build, I use Daisy UI. In fact, OpenAlgo itself uses Daisy UI. So the OpenAlgo, whatever the platform that you are seeing here, it has its cool colors, right? So all these colors, all those dashboards and everything, it has been built on top of Daisy UI itself. So Daisy UI is an open source framework, modern day framework, which is built on top of Tailwind. Both Tailwind and Daisy UI make your application looking ultra modern and cool. So it has a lot of components. If you have time, just go and watch these components. One of my favorite components is like stat. A lot of components they are having. They have this stat. So yeah, stat. So this is one of the cool component to build something like some cool dashboard like this with a few lines of code. This is the line of code. You can build some cool dashboard like this, right? And there are a lot of components are there. Interesting components are there. Like one is like indicators. So it'll be showing some sort of indications, or maybe some cool stuff like radial, which could be very powerful for displaying stock market sentiment or something like that. That is the radial. And models, mostly pop-ups. So if in case you want some sort of pop-ups, you can, so something like this kind of cool pop-ups you want, it's called models. Like at your free time, you just go back and experiment on that. You can build some cool components on top of Daisy UI. Absolutely, you don't need to know any coding stuff. So let's see, like I'm going to input Daisy UI over here, Daisy UI and Tailwind. These two things are mostly for making the application beautiful, right? That's what it is. And this is for building a website itself. That's a core framework. Without this, a web application cannot happen. Simply a backend and front end cannot happen. Say this is one thing. I want to build a simple stock market dashboard. Let's also say like stock market dashboard application based on Flask. So Flask means it knows that it's Python Flask. I don't need to exclusively tell the model that it's Python Flask, right? So Flask, it means Python. And yeah, so as of now, we'll keep this simple. And then what we are going to do is like take the data from OpenAlgo API. So the problem here is the model knows what is Flask, what is Tailwind, what is Daisy UI. It knows that because these are like it's there in the available public domain for a lot of time, a lot of years. But OpenAlgo is something very recently created. Probably many of the models may not know. So I have to give new knowledge which the model doesn't have it at this point in time. So I have to say like how to fetch the data. So I have to say like probably, hey, this is how you have to connect to the application. This is how you have to connect to the application. This is how you have to connect to the application. And this is how you should be passing the code. So this, if you call this, you will be getting the response. So this, when you call this, you'll be getting a sample response. The sample response will be like, so this is a sample response, right? Oops, this is a sample response. Am I putting for quotes? Yeah. So this is a sample response. Now, what I want is what I'm going to explain over here. So it is like as good as like I'm explaining it to a developer, right? So, it's not rocket science or something super complex. Let's say I'm having a developer next to me who is my colleague, or who is my teammate. How I exactly explaining it to a human being or to my friend, the same way I'm also going to communicate to the models, nothing much. If the other developer doesn't know, I'll try to give more detailed information so that he can understand pretty much faster. He is an expert on everything. So the only thing is like I have to provide him right knowledge to him and right information to him. More the correct information that we're going to give, faster that we're going to get. Otherwise, still we'll be able to get it, but we have to fight and we have to get it. So I'll say like I want a simple application to fetch a simple and cool application with a text box. Probably let's say we'll have a text box where I can type the symbol. I can type the symbols. And next to that, maybe I can select the exchange because the inputs are like exchange and symbol, right? So, and select the exchange. For time being, I'll give the exchange name as like NSE, BSE, MCX, and NFO, and maybe CDS, and maybe BFO as well, right? So, did I say NFO? Yeah, NFO is there. BFO is BSE futures and options. CDS is currency derivatives. So it should show me the when I press the button, the button is pressed. It should show me the. It should show me the quotes probably, right? In a, let's say, table format. So what are the format that you want to see? Just give that. So usually when I build a live application, I will not build like this, but I'm just trying to explain with some simple example, right? But usually you don't need to give these many details. So without this also, the models can understand easily. But if you try to give, when you're practicing something, you try to give as much as detailed information as possible. So then I'm going to type enter. Now, before that, I have to go and select the model. Ensure that you are using the latest model over here. So I'm going to use the Claude Sonnet 3.7 Sonnet model. Thinking model is there that can be used for advanced tasks. So here we are trying to build something very simple. So a normal Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which is one of the toppest model when it comes to the web development. So how do we know that, first of all, which model to use? A lot of models are here, right? So what models to use is like probably you have to go to the page called lmarena.ai. So here it's like kind of a battleground for various models. So different models can come and compete over here. Sometimes the page loads a little slower. Okay, yeah. So here we have this. So they have this leaderboard arena. So where you can see the top models. Now, this is for various reasons. This could be for math. This could be for coding. We're not specifically focused only on coding alone. We are, I mean, if you want to focus only on coding part, you can see that a lot of models are there. In fact, Claude Sonnet will not even list over here, right? So maybe it's very far down over here. Like it's under like 7th, the 12th rank it is. But if you look into the web dev arena, where if you want to build some cool web application, Claude Sonnet 3.5 is the top model. Till to date, not even a single model, including the O3 Mini, Grok, DeepSeek, nobody is able to compete with this particular model over here. It's really good in beating those models heavily. And this is like only 3.5. 2 days back, Claude 3.7 released, which is even more powerful model. I'm sure it's still not listed in the LMSys arena yet, but I'm sure it's already outperforming Claude Sonnet 3.5, the older model, which has been released around October, if I'm not wrong, right? So I've been using this right from day one onwards. And yes, Claude Sonnet 3.7, I'm also using from day one onwards. So 2 days back onwards, I shifted myself to Claude Sonnet 3.7. So let's go to 3.7 and then we'll select 3.7, the basic model, not the thinking model. Thinking model is for more complicated advanced task. So we'll go with this model. So they have like two modes, write mode and chat mode. Write mode will be like start writing the codes, right? And the thing here is where to write the code. That's what first we need to figure it out. I'm gonna have another, let's say inside OpenAlgo itself, I'm gonna open a new folder. I'll say like dashboard. I'm gonna create a dashboard. I'll say like write the code inside at dashboard. So at dashboard, if I try to say, it'll try to, so I'll say like at dashboard. So I should be able to see the, maybe it's not showing because, yeah, so at dashboard, at dashboard is the folder here. I'm having a lot of dashboard folder. I think that this dashboard folder has been created recently. Maybe I'll try to put this right now, which folder I can put inside. Probably I'll say like / OpenAlgo / dashboard. It should be intelligent enough to understand that my folder is inside OpenAlgo. I'm keeping it inside dashboard. Right. So somehow since I created now, it is not able to recognize it. But I think it should be able to write the application inside dashboard itself. I'm also saying like run in port 5001. So what is this port 5001 and 5000? If you ask me, any web application you are running locally, it will be running in some sort of ports, right? So 5000 is the default port where Flask will be running. OpenAlgo runs in by default in port 5000. So again, there is another port we have to give over here because already 5000 is consumed by OpenAlgo. On top of that, we're going to run another application parallelly. We're going to run. So we're going to run in port 5001 is what we're going to run over here. All right, so let's try to send enter over here. In the meantime, a couple of things I need to do here. I'll go to the new terminal. I'll ensure that I also create a virtual environment. In fact, I haven't created a virtual environment at all. So I'll Python -m vnv. I should have done that. So this will be creating a virtual environment. If in case if you want to install any application, it's not a great idea to install the application directly. You have to install inside the virtual environment. So VNV, this is where we're going to keep all our Python libraries, right? So let's say like I'll activate the virtual environment as well. VNV /scripts/activate. So the scripts has been activated. It's still writing the code. By now it should have been created. If in case it failed to run the code, we might try to use Claude Sonnet 3.5 model. We may have to fall back because some people said that 3.7 was in an outage since the morning. Since the morning, I haven't touched the code yet. So let's see if it could generate the code. If it is not generating the code, maybe we have to fall back to, it's writing. Okay, let it ride. So we activated the virtual environment. I'm sure I should have installed this. So let's get into that OpenAlgo folder. I think we already have this, right? We already have this OpenAlgo installed. It's already launched over here. We without virtual environment, we directly launched it, but we should have launched from here. Anyways, doesn't matter. So I'm going to go to the dashboard folder, cd space OpenAlgo. Inside OpenAlgo, we have the cd space dashboard. So I got into OpenAlgo folder, OpenAlgo dashboard. Inside OpenAlgo, we have this dashboard. Right now, there is nothing here. It says like, I help you to build a simple stock market dashboard. For some reason, I think it is saying like HTTP 502 bad gateway. I think it's not able to build that because maybe the Claude Sonnet 3.7 could be still in outage. For time being, we'll fall back with the 3.5 itself. That's still a powerful model, right? Again, we go back and then we input the same prompt and then we'll say enter. It's taking time. I don't know whether Windsurf is an outage or not. I'm not very sure. Let's find it out. So I think people are getting this bad gateway errors. I think mostly people are getting this 502 bad gateway errors. Okay, let's see if this model can build. If it's gonna get a bad gateway error, maybe we have to fall back to cursor instead of OpenAlgo. I mean, instead of Windsurf, we may have to start using cursor if I'm not wrong. Oh, see, we can use Grok, but the problem with the Grok is like it's not you cannot write it inside the application. So I have access to Grok as well. So Grok you can use to build. Otherwise, we will use the regular ChatGPT method or Grok. Yeah, Grok also should be fine, but ChatGPT is really good in basic coding. But you cannot expect some cool ultra modern dashboards. I think this is not working good. I think probably the error is there. People started reporting this Windsurf. Since the morning, I think people are saying that they're getting this. Mostly bad gateway errors. All right, so doesn't matter. There are always fallback mechanism. The fallback mechanism, we can use ChatGPT itself. ChatGPT itself, we can able to build, but I'm not sure we can build a cool dashboards. The functionality will be working fine, but maybe not not to the level of how the Claude thinks and then it implements. So we'll go with the same context itself. So whatever the context we try to implement using Windsurf, I'm just simply going to copy that. But the problem is like if you are going to use something like ChatGPT 4.0, you need to do a lot of copy paste work. So this is the input I'm giving over here. I want to build a simple stock market web application. Take the data from OpenAlgo API. And so here is a sample code I'm just providing over here. This is a sample code. I'm also giving the sample response as well. Then we have this what to build. That's what we're also giving over here. Now, even here, we have a lot of models, but since the task is very lightweight, we're going to go with a ChatGPT 4.0 model itself. Now, the major thing here is like it will be trying to implement, it will be giving all the codes, it will be giving you all the informations as well. Pip install Flask, already we install Flask because OpenAlgo runs on top of Flask. So we don't need to install those things. Oh, it is opening inside something called Canvas. Or what we can do is we can use Claude itself, right? So let me go back to Claude. So I'm sure I have Claude as well. So what we can do is we'll skip this because I will try to build something cool only, but maybe this is not working as expected. So we'll go with the Claude itself. Yep. So we'll go with Claude.ai. I've taken a professional subscription plan, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to copy and paste the same content over here. So which are the models that we should be using? If you ask me, I don't have any personal choice for that. Whichever model is coming, which is having a better reasoning skills, right? Which is having a good taste of UI and UX, we can go with those models, right? That we don't need to stick with that. This model is best, that model is best, because the AI space is even more volatile than the markets, right? Every day, some new models has been getting introduced. So it's always a good idea that we always go with whichever the model which is comfortable. Enterprise companies cannot skip like that, so cannot do like that. So you can see that it start building this first code app.py, and is also building something called templates. Inside templates, there's an index.html. So maybe if I'm using WinSurf, I don't need to create all these files. Now I have to create these files inside the path itself. So the path which I had chosen is like inside the dashboard. So inside the dashboard, I'm going to create two files here. One is app.py. Oops, it's app.py. Then we're going to have like, we're going to create another folder inside dashboard. So that is going to be like template. And inside template, we're going to have an HTML file. It's called as index.html. You don't need to know all these things if you're going to use WinSurf directly, WinSurf or cursor. So app.py, so I'm just simply going to copy and paste the content over here. So what are the content over here? Just simply copy and paste, right? So you can see that it's running in port 5001. I'm also sending, this is my OpenAlgo API key. I'm just calling OpenAlgo, and then I'm just calling and then asking for the codes. So I'm just calling the get code. I'm just calling the client. I'm also calling the OpenAlgo library. OpenAlgo library by default, it get installed. When you're installing OpenAlgo, you're also installing the OpenAlgo Python library itself. So we don't need to worry about that of installing those things. So these are the list of exchanges. So let's save this. And then index.html. Let's go back. So here is index.html. Just copy this and bring it over here. So now I think we are good to start with a very basic dashboard. So Python. What is a file name? So file name is like app.py, right? So app.py is a file name. So let's type Python app.py. So you just give a tab, automatically it will be able to recognize. You just type app and then give a tab, automatically it will be able to recognize. Or you can also simply type like Python app.py. Enter. Oh, it says no Flask application. We have a Flask application. Never mind. Maybe okay. So I had activated the virtual environment. For timing, what I'll do, I'll deactivate, because it's taking the thing from the main itself. For time being, I'll remove this virtual environment, because we started OpenAlgo without a virtual environment itself. So here also we'll use without a virtual environment itself. Let's start the Python application. This Python application is running in port 5001. It's having like some bunch of errors is what we're getting here the moment we started the application. So these are like kind of errors. It says like template not found. We do have a template. Templates. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be, the name is like templates. Is it templates? Yeah, templates is the folder name, as you see here. So let me rerun the application. Yeah, so now it is able to run. And if I go back here, so we have this first cool application, right? And let's say I'm going to type Reliance. Reliance.
Are you trying to shop for time?
Let's say this, just give me a sec.
Sorry, something went wrong.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Suddenly Alexa got activated. So let's say the stock name is going to be Reliance, and I want to select the exchanges like NSE, and then I'm going to click on get code. So that should be getting the codes. So this code from where you're getting, right? So basically what is happening here is, this is what happening. So from my Python code, I'm running in my Python stock market dashboard. It's calling the OpenAlgo API, and OpenAlgo in turn, it's relaying it to the broker. So if you are connected to the angel, it's sending to the angel. The request is sent to the angel. If you are talking to Zerodha or Upstocks or Fires or Dun or ICICI or Kotak or whichever the broker that you are using, it connects to that corresponding broker. And from the broker, it's fetching the data and it is coming via OpenAlgo and it's displaying in front of you. So maybe we'll try with something like some option symbols. We'll go and try. So we have this OpenAlgo, right? OpenAlgo, I'll keep it side by side. This is OpenAlgo. It's login. So inside OpenAlgo, you can always go and find the symbol section. There's a search section is there. Let's say I want to search for like Nifty futures, Nifty FUT. So we have this March future coming in. So let's go and get the March future. This is a symbol for that. Exchange is NFO. Search it out. You should be able to find the symbol here. If you are not finding the symbol, that means the database is not downloaded at all. So let's say we have this. Let's copy this. We'll go back to the dashboard and we paste the information. Paste the dashboard. And let's say we'll select the exchange as NFO and then get the code. So you see that it's getting the code. And this is something called badges. It's also giving some cool badges as well, right? Now, yeah, so it's also giving me like, it's also showing me the recent searches as well. So what I had searched, like what symbol it is, what time I had searched, right? That's what the power of Claude. That's the reason I want to do with Claude, not with OpenAlgo, because it goes one extra mile always. So I had seen that I've been using Claude since August 2024 onwards, right? Otherwise, I was a fanboy of ChatGPT. And then I have to experiment with Claude. Initially, I was not comfortable, but later on, I had seen that when it comes to instruction following, large amount of instructions, like Claude really does good. Yeah, in terms of content generation, I would say like ChatGPT is really good. In terms of solving complex mathematical operations, Grok is really good. O3 Mini is good, right? When it comes to reasoning, ChatGPT is good. Grok is good. But when it comes to web development, this kind of web development, till to date, I haven't seen like any models can able to solve zero shot. Zero shot is nothing but I just given a question. So this is an instruction I'm just giving. It give me the answers. And what I thought is a very simple form, right? So that's what my thought process is. But what it had given me is like 10x of my expectations. 10x of my expectations is what we are getting here in a matter of time without writing a single line of code, right? So the thing is like you need to understand how the technology works. That's the only thing. If you know that, you can build any cool magic. But what you had seen is like just a sample, right? All right, so we'll try to do something like maybe we'll try to fetch historical data and then we'll try to plot using TradingView. Can I bring TradingView if you ask me? Absolutely, we can bring TradingView. There is something called TradingView lightweight charts, right? TradingView lightweight charts is here. This is open source completely. It's an JavaScript library, which you can use it in the front end, right? You cannot use, you can also, there are ways you can use it in the back end, but this is really cool if you are building a web application. I had built sometime back, I had built this. Maybe if you have time, we just go through this video. Back then I had to build using ChatGPT, but this is May 2024. I haven't started using Anthropic yet, because most of the time I started using Anthropic only from August 2024 onwards. So let's go with this lightweight charts, right? And yeah, we can build this kind of cool charts we can able to build, right? And I'm sure the latest Claude model, the model what we are using here, like it's nothing but Claude Sonnet 3.7, right? This is a Claude Sonnet 3.7. So now these model, I need to, same application, I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to add one more page for historical data. I'm going to, let's say, like I'm going to add another page called the /charts. So right now, /charts, if I'm going to put, there's no page, so I'm going to get some error. So it's saying like no found error. But I'm going to add, and this is also called as the route in the terminology of Flask. So I'll say like, you can tell in your own words, say like I want to add historical charts page. Let's call that page is like /charts, right? In the /chart part, I want to show an historical charts. That's number one. And I want to display TradingView lightweight charts. Lightweight charts. Of course, we need to give the data, right? So from where we can give the data. So data is always from via OpenAlgo to the broker. We're going to fetch the data, right? So obviously these models doesn't know OpenAlgo is. I don't know whether it knows or not. Let's ask. Maybe it might be trained on by now. ChatGPT knows what an OpenAlgo is. This is ChatGPT. What is OpenAlgo? I've been keep on interacting with OpenAlgo. So I've been keep on interacting with ChatGPT. So ChatGPT knows what an OpenAlgo is because it stores something called memory. So whatever I'm trying to type, it knows what an OpenAlgo is. So OpenAlgo is an open source algorithmic trading framework designed for traders who want to automate their strategies, deep programming knowledge, but it helps traders connect to their broker APIs, manage strategies, execute orders, monitor performance in real time. It's built using Flask. It gives a lot of information because I've been keep interacting with that. Let's see whether Claude is able to understand what is OpenAlgo is all about. So I'm going to ask the same question. What is OpenAlgo? So say like I'm not familiar with OpenAlgo. So since it is not familiar with OpenAlgo, it's not, these models are not trained on OpenAlgo. So I have to give the new knowledge, right? So we're using Claude over here. So I have to give the new knowledge. The new knowledge is nothing but I have to just feed in the additional context. In the data.py, we have this one, right? So we have there are two ways we can feed. One is I can just simply pass this data frame, right? And I also have to give the output response as well. This is the output response, right? Just simply copy and paste. So sample response is sample response in data frame format, right? So probably in WinSurf also I would have given the same prompt only. And if in case you are not sure, you can also take a screenshot of this and you can say how the output looks like so that it gets a fair idea how the exact data looks like, right? So I'll just add the attachment over here. At any given point in time in Claude, you can attach up to like 5 images in one shot. So we are just telling how to fetch the data. If I fetch this data using the symbol and exchange, I should be able to get the output like this, or in a better way, I also given an output, how the output table output looks like. I think that's the only thing I have to give. Probably, I think it knows what is the TradingView lightweight charts is all about. So you can see that it's rewriting the complete code. Now, maybe in WindSurf, it is even more cooler. So that's what WindSurf is quite popular, but unfortunately, I'm not able to show in the WindSurf. Yeah, so it had rewritten the app.py. So the one is we have 3 files now. One is I have to create this charts.html inside the templates. So inside the templates is where we create our front end files, the front end facing the cool charts, the display, whatever we are seeing in the display, it comes in the index file, charts.html, right? Let me go there and then I'll go back to app.py. In my olden days, I used this method. When I try to do this method, right, I'm able to write a code in a week, like some 2,000 to 3,000 lines of code I'm able to implement. Not much beyond that. This is when we had like ChatGPT 3.5, ChatGPT 4. But slowly it started increasing like from 2,000 to 5,000 because models are getting more and more intelligent. Models are also getting more and more efficient. It's able to write longer codes, longer and lengthier codes. These models are able to write. So the way of writing lines of code, it increases to like 5,000 lines of code. Later on, I have to use agentic tools. My first agentic tool was like Klein, which is open source. I used directly the APIs. I taken Claude APIs directly, and then I started using it, which was kind of a costlier affair. I also used Amazon Bedrock, where Claude Sonnet is hosted. That was like my monthly bill jumps to something like 900 USD per month, where I'm able to achieve like 8,000 lines of code in a week, right? Because of the agentic coding using Klein, I used inside VS Code. So VS Code plus Klein plus Anthropic API, Claude Sonnet API. So their cost was very high because I had to pay for every API query I'm sending. It will be charged in terms of tokens. It was very costlier. So and then came WindSurf around December. Luckily, where I'm able to achieve like 12,000 to 15,000 lines of code in a week. So, all right. So we have this lot of files, but among them we have this app.py. All I have to do is like just copy and then I'll go and paste it. Then I'll go to index.html. It also given some index.html as well. I don't know whether it had done any changes or not, but it had edited. But so let's say I'll copy this, and then maybe it would have added some more codes. Okay. So I added some index.html. Let me save this. And also I'll go back and then add this chart.html, which it had newly created. Not every time the output will be proper, exactly proper. Most of the time it is going to be, you can see that it's like 493 lines of code it is, right? This alone 493 lines of code. That's the reason I would say like front-end coding is more or less it's gone now. So you don't need to know a front-end to build a front-end these days. If you know, it's well and good, but that is not a mandatory requirement. I'm not a front-end coder. I'm not a back-end coder either, right? Most of the time I spend in developing trading strategies. So I never built an, if you ask me 1 year back, I never built an, not even a single full stack application. I mean, I built, but mostly my developers had built for me. Whatever the ideas that I have, I had to go and say to my developer, and my developer had built on behalf of me. But I never built on my own, not even a single line of code. I had built the front end, back end, and all those frameworks. But last 1 year, I would say like at least I would have built some 60 small applications, some 3-4 bigger applications. All right, so we had done that, and let's go back and check what it had done. First, we'll see what it had done in the front end. So this is a first page, landing page. Not much of a changes here. And then let's go to charts. It had also added charts as well. You can see that that's a nav bar, navigation bar at the top. It also had added that. So click on that. So we have the State Bank of India, NSE, 5-minute interval. It also fetches a couple of intervals as well, but I'm sure it doesn't know all these things. From the thing, it is guessing. So it's doing a lot of guesswork, right? So because I don't have 1 MO, 1 week also I don't have. These are not supported time frames over here. So, but it's doing a guessing work. When I don't give valid information, it keep guessing, right? So first, but I'm sure 5-minute it does exist. So I'm going to start from 1 January 2025 to end date 26/2/2025. Let me try to load the chart. Is it happening? It's not happening. So which means, or maybe it could be processing the data in the backend. Let's see. If I go here, am I getting any data? I'm not getting any data. So basically I should get some queries. The queries I'm not getting in the backend. So this is like backend console where we can see, is it calling the backend or not? So basically it's not calling. Let's go and inspect why it is not able to call. So it's giving some error. So I'm just going to say like, hey, this is the error I'm just getting. So it says like add candlestick series is not a function. It's what it's saying. So I have to give this information because we need to have these APIs. Maybe this API is not built properly. Maybe if I click on that, let's see. Let's go and paste this error. Let's see what it's supposed to say. This is the error which I'm getting. I'll just give it to Claude. If it doesn't know how to bring the candlestick charts, I'm going to give some my old code as a reference. I had built sometime back the TradingView lightweight charts, which is available in GitHub. It's trying to make the edit changes. A lot of edits, multiple edits it's trying to do here. And this lightweight charts, right? It is not like the TradingView charts which you are using at the broker side, or you are using at the actual TradingView website itself. It's a very, very lightweight, stripped down version of charts. It can bring you cool charts, but if you want to build any indicators, you have to build your own indicators, RSI, moving average, everything, right? So it had done some lot of changes. Still, it is making a lot of changes. I'm sure already it's like some 500 lines of code it is. So the only mindset one have to come up with when you are doing this kind of agentic coding is like you have to come up with something like I just simply want to do. That's the kind of mindset one have to. At any cost, I just want to do it. So sometimes there will be errors which we may not know it, but still majority of the time, these models are intelligent enough to solve the errors. There are times when the errors are not getting solved. So you have to go back to the drawing board. You have to figure it out on your own, what is going wrong. Or you can ask models what is going wrong. You can ask models to write the logs. Models are really good in doing that. It help you where exactly the code is going wrong. It can help you. So a little bit of debugging skills, if you are having, you can easily figure it out. I mean, even without coding knowledge. All right, let's just copy this and then just simply replace this chart.html. Then we'll go back. Then we'll see, where it is. Actually, 127.5001. We'll go to the charts. We have this. Let's click on download. Is it downloading the data? Console says unexpected token catch. Okay. Just simply again, once again, I'm going to paste it over here. But this is not an easy approach. Whatever I'm trying to do is a complex approach. With Windsurf, it is even more easier. If still it is not going to solve, I'm going to give some my old working solution of TradingView lightweight charts. If it is not working, it is not working, right? So don't try to fix it. Try to use a different approach. That's the thing that you have to do. Otherwise, you keep on fighting, it's keep on throwing errors. That is how the errors will not solve. So you have to change your strategy if it is keep on throwing errors and things are not working well the way you anticipated. Akshay is asking, does web page resize for mobile screens? Absolutely. So what you can also do here is like, here you can see like in Chrome, they have this interesting feature called you right click, you go to inspect element. You can go to the probably what you can do here is like you can go and select the you can see this toggle device toolbar. You can go and select what device you want. Let's say how it looks like in iPhone 12 Pro. This is how it will look like. So it is automatically responsive enough. Mostly it will be building responsive code, which is built for mobile applications as well. And you can also see like how it looks like in iPad mini, or maybe like how it looks like in Surface Tab Pro, or maybe in your own let's say something like Samsung Galaxy Tab, how it looks like. So you can go and change the device size and you can try this out, right? So that kind of tools already do exist inside Chrome itself, Chrome or Firefox. You can see such kind of tools, basically. All right, so I'm sure it would have coded. Let's see, we'll try this. If it doesn't work, then we have an alternative solution. So it's like 522 lines of code, which you can see that it's getting red. That means a lot of errors are there. So this red color stripes that shows those are the lines it is having errors. Okay, let's try it out. Since it is a HTML front end, it may not be breaking much, but still, I think still because of that errors, it could be messing up. I think it's creating error again. Yeah, so I think so. We'll do this alternative approach. Alternative approach is like I'm gonna have an let's say like just go for like market calls, TradingView, lightweight charts. I built and sometime back I built this TradingView code. So that's what the code I'm gonna give as an input. This is a working solution. I built it using ChatGPT. So the UI is not that cool and great. So we'll go out to this GitHub. It has like again 2 files only. This is also Flask application. So I'm going to give some working application. This is like app.py. So I'll say like copy, and I'll say like I go to Claude. I'm going to say like it is throwing error. I have an old application which works. So just give some old application. One is app.py. So here is my app.py. You just attach it. So old app.py had attached it. And then we have like index.html. It basically contains only two files, app.py and index.html. App.py is the backend and index.html is the front end. So index.html is available inside templates, index.html. Pretty lengthy code. Let's copy that and paste it. So now I'm going to say like I pasted it. Whenever the code is very lengthier, it attached like a file itself. Whenever the code is smaller, it gets in the prompt section itself. So I had attached app.py and index.html, which is a working solution. So I'll say like use this working solution to solve the problem and help me provide the full source code of we need what only app.py and charts.html. These are the two files that we are working right now, right? So index.html, which is already working fine. So what I need is updated app.py and updated charts.html. If it is in Windsurf, I would have done the same thing in Windsurf also in the cascade section. I would have given the same inputs in the same command in the prompt section. So this is how the prompting looks like. So how the prompt, how I'm trying to build, most of the time it looks like. I'll be giving a lot of sample reference codes. If it is ChatGPT, we'll give the URL itself. You give the URL, it can go and get the data from the link itself, link or PDF. You can attach PDF, you can attach images, you can attach large text content. But one problem is like now it is trying to code using Yahoo charts, right? It's thinking that I don't want in Yahoo charts, so I'll just stop here, right? So let me stop here. So I don't want Yahoo chart because that example what I had done is like it takes the data from Yahoo and it is trying to build. So it's thinking that it's supposed to build Yahoo charts, but my requirement is not Yahoo charts. My requirement is like I want to take the data from Yahoo, OpenAlgo. So I'll say here, right? I'll fall back and say, hey, so means I'm just ignoring this, whatever it had done, I'm ignoring, I'm going back again and I'm editing and saying like, I don't want Yahoo charts. I want to implement the same way with OpenAlgo history function to show the TradingView candlestick charts. Also give me the reason. Maybe if you also want to learn, what you can also give like also give me the reason. Give me the reason what went wrong compared to the working solution I had provided. Right. So what are the things that you want to learn? Maybe you are a beginner in learning all these things. You also need to know why it is going wrong, why these models are going wrong. Right. So sometimes these models are prone to go wrong. Not every time you're going to get what you want. If it's something simple, you can get it, but things are getting more and more complex. Right. So you need to be stepping in front of this model, and then you have to give more relevant inputs, and you can also you should also learn from the model where exactly it went wrong. So that's what I'm trying to give over here. So it says like I'll help you implement a solution similar to your working Yahoo Finance stock charts, but using OpenAlgo history function instead. Let me analyze what going wrong with the current code and provide a complete solution. So it says like what went wrong. It's giving me the reasons. So it's giving a lot of reasons, and now it is trying to build using OpenAlgo history. So it's going to use OpenAlgo history function instead, right? That's what it's trying to do here. It's writing the app.py, updated app.py. And of course, there is like this thing we need to change the intervals, right? So probably I'll say like intervals, we can get it from the documentation itself. If you go to OpenAlgo documentation, if you go to the API section, we have this context called intervals, right? Or maybe inside OpenAlgo itself, let me go to OpenAlgo here, this data.py. So here we can have an another section called, so I can call something like client.interval intervals, right? It's interval, I guess. Interval. Yeah. So this will be giving me the intervals. These are list of intervals supported by OpenAlgo. So I'm just feed this information, right? So these are the, I'm going to say like these are the information which it is supported by OpenAlgo, right? For time being, I'm going to ignore the seconds because the seconds are, I think, only very few brokers are supporting, but majority of the brokers support this context. So I'll just give this information. You don't need to exactly copy everything. So whatever that you want to show, just simply copy that. And let's go back to Claude. So here is Claude. I'm also saying like these are the supported OpenAlgo intervals. Okay. So now we can intelligently know where to change. So because these models are really good in seeing patterns like humans. We humans, we know exactly when I'm looking into the code, I know that hey, this is a place I've changed the interval. Right? So it's exactly doing that. It's exactly doing that. Now what it is doing is like it's doing something like a mapping. Exactly this. This is templates, I believe. In app.py, if I go, it's editing. Yeah, so it's doing the mapping. So it's doing the mapping here, right? So this is like what is showing in the front end is going to show this, but in the back end, it's going to convert into these values. So yeah, so app.py is ready, I believe. Let's just copy this app.py. And let's say what we will do is like first we'll go to app.py. Inside dashboard, app.py. Just replace this and charts. Let's go to the charts.html and copy it and replace it. Yeah. So now you can see that there are no errors, 524 lines of code. Let's see what we had. So every time it comes up with its own surprises. If you go to the charts, so it had some cool, come on. You can see that it's giving me the charts over here and I'm able to get the charts. Oh, it's also able to compute the RSI as well. Right, so it's also building the watch list as well. That's the old code. It's bringing those old code. I would say that. So let's say we'll try with something like Zomato. Let's say I'll go with like something like this is like daily time frame. It's able to build faster. Let's see, try with something like hourly time frame. Like fetch the data. It is exactly it's. Oops, what I can do? How I can unzoom this? Yeah, so this is like daily data. Maybe it's like hourly data. Now, how do I know the data is getting processed? If you could see in the back end, you'll be seeing, if you go to the OpenAlgo in the back end, you'll be seeing like a lot of chunks of data is getting processed in the back end. It's calling the API history function and it's delivering those values. That's what is happening here. So hourly time. This is like, I think this is running on port. Which port it is running? Port 5000. Okay. Right, so we have this stock dashboard now, right, which is basically fetching the data. Now, one more important thing here is like whenever I am trying to have my app.py, it's not a good idea to expose my API key everywhere, right? You can see that somewhere my API key would have been exposed in this code. You see that it's not a good idea. So we have to create a secret file and we're going to keep that. So I'm going to say like this particular line of code, I want to keep my API key in an .env file. Of course, here I would have done that, but for some reason this is not working out. So let's close this for time being. Will I be able to go to State Bank of India? Is it loading State Bank of India? Zomato, yeah, it's also able to do that, right? It can also auto update as well. So maybe in live market, it also updates like every 10 minutes or 15 minutes. It can auto update. It's also having a toggle theme. I'm not sure whether it's going to work or not. Let's see. It's also toggling the theme as well. That's pretty cool, right? And I don't know how many lines of code that it had written. Probably within a matter of like probably 1 hour, we would have been messed up with this. Like this is like app.py is like 215 lines of code. Index.html is like another 215, 300 lines of code. Chart.html is the max. Like what? 524 lines of code. This is like 1,000 lines of code. These models are able to write. The thing what he had done is like we haven't done anything. Like, so I haven't touched the code base at all. Not even a single line had typed in this. The max to max what I had typed, not even typed, just copy and pasted these functions to explain you guys, right? I think maybe we'll try to do a part 2 where we continue with this, because there's an initial setup. So initial setup itself taken a lot of time, and then explainer. Maybe we'll have a part 2 where we will build some cool dashboards, right? Yeah, so I'm sure now if you have any questions, you can ask me. We can take a Q&A session. So Prakash is asking, is the recording going to be available later? Absolutely, it will be available inside the same portal itself. It will be also available in our OpenAlgo channel. So if in case you haven't followed OpenAlgo channel, we have a separate channel for OpenAlgo. It will be available in the Market Calls channel as well, right? So where all the tutorials related to OpenAlgo will be posting over here, right? So time to time, we will keep on educating the users on how to make use of OpenAlgo here. So Rajeshwar is asking, is it a website live and where to save the data? So what are the website that I had shown over here? It is not hosted in any servers. Right now it is running in my local machine. Later on, I have to take some servers and then I have to put it in the internet so that people can also able to access in their domain as well. But don't do that, because we cannot. This is mostly for individual users only, right? It's not for broadcasting the data or somewhere. You cannot make any business out of it. Don't try to do that. Exchange will put you penalty. If you exchange find it, it will be a big trouble. You will be in a big trouble. So True Lawyer is asking, how can we draw equity curve, right? So equity curve will be able to draw only if you are able to build an backtesting module. So you have to write a strategy. It goes to the backtesting module. Backtesting module will be providing it process your trading signals, converts into profit and loss data. And from the profit and loss data, we should be able to plot the cumulative equity curve. So SPM Shivakumar is asking, like, it will be nice if you can explain from a non-coder's perspective, just using logic. So that's what the whole idea is. So that's what I thought, like, I'll try to use this cascade and then I'll try to implement it. But for some reason, since the morning, it seems like one of the guy had pinged me and said, like, do you know that Windsurf is in Windsurf is an outage? That's what I got in a LinkedIn. Somebody messaged me. I said, like, I haven't touched the code yet. I think if you go to my LinkedIn, let's say, I thought like maybe it's a minor issue or something like that. It could have got resolved on its own. Somebody pinged me and said, like, yeah, so this is what he said. Like, do you use Claude Sonnet API on the browser? You want to check if you are facing issues today with Claude. I'm facing connection interruption a lot today. So I'll say, like, still not open the code editor yet for the day. Of course, now only at 7 o'clock only, I'm just trying to open the VS Code. Yeah, for my surprise, there was an outage. I just thought that this is like in a lightweight, I had taken it. Yes, otherwise it could have been in a completely non-coder fashion, right? Here, a little bit of coding is required because we just only done a copy pasted work, right? Nothing else. So we had created this app.py, we created this index.html, and we created this chart.html. I just only created the files. The rest everything I had only copy pasted the stuff. So Gyanendra Pandey is asking, what are some free backtesting modules? So I prefer using Vector BT, and we also building our own backtesting engine called Open Engine, which will be eventually gone live. Maybe by end of this year, we will be having our own backtesting engine. Maybe around September or this December end, we'll be having our complete full stack open engine. Like how we have OpenAlgo, we'll be having an open engine where we'll be having a complete open source backtesting engine for Indian traders, where they can write the strategy, same strategy, they'll be able to integrate with OpenAlgo to trade it live as well, right? So Srijit is asking, will your backtesting engine supports historical option data? Of course. So backtesting, if it is backtesting, it could support all types of data. But when we are building the engine, still not done yet. We just kickstarted with the Open Engine project. Initially, we'll be solving for equity markets, but very quickly we'll be getting into single leg and multi-leg options or multi-leg options backtesting with hedging and all those stuff. How to make an SFT dashboard? Yeah, so I think I had made that dashboard yesterday. I'm sure, like probably I'll go and show you how it looks like. I think I'm done using cursor. So I'm not in this Windsurf. I used another browser cursor for doing that. How to make an HFT dashboard? That is like you have to give tons of information. Like you have to give the API documentation. You have to give what you want, maybe some formulas. So once you give everything, it builds in one shot. It's able to build not in one shot. Probably I would say like some couple of conversations, some 10 to 12 conversations. I'm able to build that. So HFT dashboard is something that gone live. I mean, we kept it open source as well. The HFT dashboard. So if you go to market calls, you should be finding under repositories this Fires WebSocket, right? So we built this simple dashboard here. This is a dashboard I have to build. I'm sure the video should be available in Twitter or somewhere. I'm sure many of you guys would have been already seen. This is like another game. This is one of my first game I played back in 1995, Space Invader. I had to create using cursor. So this is like zero shot. The prompt is very simple, create Space Invader game. That's it. So this game is completely created using Python. I'm sure if you would have been 90s kid or 80s kid, you would have played all these things. I think, yeah, this is the one I had to build. So this took like some 15 minutes to build this. So I used Claude Sonnet 3.7 thinking model to build this, right? Thinking model, the output is even more efficient. It goes even more extra mile. Already Claude 3.5 itself known for going extra mile. 3.7 goes even more extra mile. I would say like a 3.7 thinking model, it goes even more super exponential mile. That's what we can say that. Right? So this brings 50 depth tick by tick data from Fires. It is taking in real time. Right? I'm not calling every second. So we are having a channel dedicated, pipeline is open. It keeps on pouring the information, keeps on pouring in during live market hours. And it has these cool dashboards, that top 50 level DOMs, and then we have this price level order flow metrics, and then some sort of a market sentiment based upon the feeds. It gives some sentimental score, and all these things within 15 minutes, right? That's maybe hardly 15 to 20 minutes. I haven't really counted the time, but I'm sure it could be anywhere around 15 to 20 minutes of time it had built that. I was really surprised with that. I thought like what these models are capable of. I just want to test the capability of the model. So I've taken something like which they had introduced very recently. Fires had introduced this very recently. And till today, the Fires is the only one who is providing this TBT in the API. A lot of brokers are providing TBT, like Upstocks is providing TBT. Dun started providing TBT, tick by tick data feed, like high frequency data. But Fires is the one who enabled in the front end, I mean, to the end users in the form of API they had introduced, right? So Rajeshwar Gawali is asking, can I get data in column, multiple technical figures, RSI on various time frames? Of course, you can get. That's the end idea. That's what I thought. Like I'll try to showcase, but maybe in our next session, I'll show you how we can get the data. We have to use something like pandas_ta. Maybe we'll try to develop on top of this. So maybe hopefully in the next week, we'll try to have a session, or maybe this Saturday or Sunday, we'll try to have a session. Part 2 of the session. You don't need to register again. You can use the same page. You can log in, and then you will be able to attend the next session. I'll try to schedule probably this Saturday, right? So is there any questions that I should be addressing before we are closing this out? So Gyanendra Pandey is asking, is it possible to code smart money concept related to trading strategy using Windsurf or Cursor? See, when it comes to Claude Sonnet, right? So it is really good in web development. I'm not sure about the mathematical skills and trading logic behind that. For that, Grok and ChatGPT is really prone, very effective, particularly the O3 mini model, one of the top model when it comes to mathematical skills. So if it's something related to mathematics, trading strategy, those kind of skills, you have to either depend upon either Google Gemini or ChatGPT or the recent Grok model. The reasoning skills and math skills are amazing with these models. But something like kind of a cool dashboards, none of them is able to get. So maybe I can give you a sample, right? Yesterday I was building this tool, right? So yesterday I was building this. This one is what I built. This is I had built using regular Claude Sonnet 3.7, the latest model using Windsurf. And then I had to create again. I'm sure. Why it's not displaying? There are some follow-through post is there, but somehow it's not displaying. Check if I can get. Yeah, so this is like I had to create using ChatGPT thinking model, 3.7 thinking model. Same prompt, but it had delivered different types of enemies, different types of aliens, and then different aliens will have different points, different scoring. It also has some block as well. So it is even more efficient, right? And the same prompt I try to give with the Grok. So this is what I got, like so the model thinking process is slightly different. Maybe what I'm thinking is like Claude Sonnet 3.7 is trained on high quality data, and they had given utmost importance to web development. I've been keep saying this. Claude 3.7 gives utmost importance to web developers when building high quality websites or high quality web applications. In fact, we had built something like a terminal. This is one of our very first application. Completely, we built using the model itself. Like it's an simple, I would say, like trading terminal which we have built. I'm not sure the. So this is a web application we had built using completely using Claude Sonnet 3.5. This is the time Claude Sonnet 3.5 got introduced. So we had to build this. This is a pretty long one. We built for like Angel terminal, and then I have to, once I done with that, had some decent expertise. So I have to convert OpenAlgo itself completely into OpenAlgo. Not this OpenAlgo. This OpenAlgo, what you're seeing is not Python. It's Next.js application. The local one, what I'm having right now. Now this one is after building, after getting this expertise on building an open terminal, I had to build this OpenAlgo using Daisy UI and Python Flask. Earlier we had OpenAlgo. We don't have Daisy UI. I know what a Daisy UI is, but I haven't integrated it. But earlier it was like we are using only Tailwind. But after that, we have to move to Tailwind plus Daisy UI, right? So that is where the OpenAlgo itself got even more flashy, cool stuff. All right, so enough of the rant. I'm sure in today's session, let me summarize what we had discussed so far. So we learned how to use Claude Sonnet 3.7 model, some of the basic capabilities, why it is ruling the web development, and why other models are not able to perform. And second thing is like how we can install OpenAlgo and how we can fetch the stock market information using history function, and also the data feed, right? So the how to place orders. So it's just 2 lines of code. It is basically this is like one statement, and there's only one single statement to place order, nothing much. So we get a response, and this is to get the codes, and this is to get the market depth, top 5 bid and ask, and the history to get the stock market data in a historical data, That we are done with that. And followed by that, we also had this information. So we have to build this. In 5001 is what we are building. We built a Python application. So where I ask for an data. Zomato. So hopefully this works. So here is a Zomato code, and it also gives the recent searches as well, what I had searched. It also has its like footer. It also having like a top nav bar. We also have this charting information. It's also fetching the data. Everything it is communicating only with OpenAlgo only, right? And the entire source code, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to publish it. Probably what I'll do is like I'll try to publish this information, this entire application alone, the dashboard application alone. Let me go to the dashboard application first of all. So I'll say like git init. I'm going to publish it to GitHub where you can go and take it from there. We need some README as well. So I think the README, I'm sure we can get from the. So here we have this documentation. It also prepares the documentation. So these models are really good in building those documentation, right? The complete OpenAlgo dashboard, whatever the dashboard that you're seeing over here, nothing has been handwritten, right? So you just see the configuration instructions. Everything has been written by Claude Sonnet and the ChatGPT. Mostly ChatGPT is what I had used. Installation guidelines, everything it's done by these models. APIs, API information, everything has been designed by these models, right? And these endpoint URL, sample request, response, request body, responsive field, nothing has been done manually. Everything has been done. It's just not the coding part, including the after coding. We have to do this documentation, all those stuff. Everything Claude Sonnet and ChatGPT is of real help. So now we're going to build this similar documentation, which Claude Sonnet had already given us. This is a documentation. Just copy this and go and create another one more file called readme. So inside the dashboard folder, create an readme.md. Of course, exactly this. So here is the copy button. Let's paste it. Now this will be in mostly in markup HTML format. So markup format is what it is. And then maybe I'm thinking that it is not probably what I'll do. I'll just close this folder. I'll close folder. Let's save it. I'm going to open only that. I'll go to my PC, D drive, and from here I'll go to OpenAlgo dashboard. Inside the dashboard, I'll go to OpenAlgo. I'm going to open only the dashboard folder alone. So probably only this alone, I'm going to publish it. So let's publish this. I'll say like initial commit. Initial commit. And we publish the branch. Let's call this like stock hyphen dashboard, right? So that's a name which I'm keeping it publicly. You can go and download it later on and you can play with that. Of course, you need OpenAlgo to try this out. So here is the link. Let me also pass on the link in the chat. I'll also add this link in the course section as well, or down below the video. I'll try to add. So the complete code, whatever we had done so far, everything is available here. So you can see this is a complete README instruction. Now, many open source codes usually will have a license. So I'm going to go with an MIT license. I'll ask for a license file. Provide me a MIT license, right? Under creator is market calls, right? And I also give this URL. This is the URL where I'm keeping. So say like GitHub or link is, this is where I'm just keeping the GitHub link. So it gives me a license file. So license file I have to go and create. Let me also create the license file as well. So here I'll go and create another file name called license. So there's a license file here. It's a pretty tiny file. Just copy it and then paste it over here. That's an MIT license, means anybody can use this commercially. There's no problem with that. Commercially for open source purpose or even in their internal softwares. That's what an MIT license is. No restrictions. Anybody can use, modify, copy, merge, publish, distribute, sub-license it. Even they can sell it also, right? That's how it is. So I'm just add a license. So added license. I'll say like MIT license. It could be anything. This is only for your reference, what commit that you're trying to do. So all these incremental changes will be reflecting in the GitHub page itself. Right? So we have this license and we have this MIT license over here. And yeah, so for documentation, if somebody want to refer, they can always refer this docs.openalgo.in. I'll also give this link as well. We call this like a stock market dashboard. And what are the things that we are using? We are using Flask. We are using it. We are also using TradingView lightweight charts. So like TradingView, I'm sure it should be showing lightweight charts. Hyphen light, do I have? TradingView, lightweight charts. And we are also using Daisy UI. What else we are using? Tailwind. Right? So these are things that we had built this complete application. Save changes, and that should be showing what this project is all about, right? And we have some cool explainer as well. So what this does and what we had built so far, it had given all those information, right? So that will be it's exposing the API key as well. Never mind, this is my local API key, so nobody can do anything. So I'll say like don't expose the API key. So I'll say like in the README docs you had accidentally exposed API keys. Usually these models will not supposed to expose this API key, but so be careful about it whenever you're publishing something. So don't expose your API keys anywhere. So this is not sensitive because it is running locally. Nobody can do anything, but better safer than sorry. Like always check your code, whether you just check whether any OpenAlgo, it's hard coding that or not, right? So it's given me an another app.py. So here you can see that there is no OpenAlgo API key. So basically, it says like OpenAlgo API key. It's asking for an API key. Right now it's empty. You have to go and set the API key from an environmental variable. Or maybe we can say like use.env file instead. So where we're going to keep some secret files, .env file, and also provide .env.sample file, right? So all I'm saying is like don't keep API keys inside OpenAlgo itself. Don't hard code it. Just try to keep it in the .env itself. So it's using .env file. Let me copy that. I'll go back to my application. Just 2 minutes of work and we are done. So here I'm just hard coding, right? So this would have been sent into the GitHub itself. So don't do that, right? So usually I will not do that, but since it is a simple application, I'm just doing it. It is not sensitive also. But don't keep it as a practice of keeping your API files in your code. So always keep it in a .env file or .sample files. So .sample, I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to create another file name called .env and .sample. So .env file I'm going to create. And I'm going to paste this information where I have to keep my API keys. And then I'm going to have like .env.sample. Here is where I'm going to keep my keys again. Right. So I'm also going to update in my README as well. In my README, if you could see, we already exposed previously the API key. Now it is not exposing. So I'll also copy that and then I'll ensure that I'm also in my README also. I'm just updating the README file as well. So you can see that the old API key goes away. So we could see here in the diff, if you could see, you can see that the old key has been deleted. This is my old key. There's a new one which contains a sample API key. So if somebody want to keep their API key, they have to rename the .env.sample and then they have to rename it to .env. There they have to go and keep the OpenAlgo API key, right? So I think more or less we're done over here. So let's say like I'll update the removed hard code it. Don't write it, but say like updated with .env.sample file. Basically, what we have done is like we've done the hard coding of it. So don't expose any of your API keys. On a safer side. So simple application doesn't matter. Sensitive, when it comes to sensitive application, at times maybe your trading account could be hacked if you're hosting in the internet or somewhere. So better safe than sorry. Always keep your files in the .env files. So .env is mostly to keep sensitive applications. All right. So I'm sure you might have some very basic learning about how to do this agentic coding. But yeah, windsurf is something next level, but unfortunately I'm not able to show in the part 1 of the session. Let's do the part 2 where I'll show you the how better a non-coder can create without knowing any knowledge about building a web application or building a front end or back end or managing the database and all those stuff. All right then. See you in the next session. Probably most likely it'll be on coming Saturday, 7 to 8 p.m. So stay tuned. Thank you.